At the break of dawn, Ada awoke to the clamor of enraged voices outside her modest dwelling. Still groggy, she stumbled to the door, only to be met with a sight that shocked her to the core. A throng of villagers stood there, brandishing torches and sticks. At the forefront of the mob were her late husband's brothers, Nnamdi and Chukwudi, and Uju, his eldest sister. Their faces contorted with fury, they pointed accusingly at Ada. "There she is! Grab her!" Nnamdi bellowed. Before she could comprehend the situation, the villagers surged forward, seizing Ada and dragging her outside. "No, please! I have done nothing wrong," she cried, her voice desperate. As they surrounded her, Ada's sister Ifeoma stepped forward, her voice dripping with malice. "We know you killed our brother Obi. Now, today, we will show you what we do to women who kill their husbands in this village," she sneered. With cruel hands, the women began shearing off Ada's long braided hair, while Ada screamed and struggled in vain against their hold. The morning air echoed with Ada's anguished sobs as her locks fell to the ground. When the ordeal finally ended, Nnamdi declared with a sinister smirk, "Let this be a warning to all husband killers." The villagers bound Ada's hands and paraded her through the dusty paths of the village, subjecting her to humiliation and scorn. With each step, Ada's heart ached, her spirit shattered by the cruelty of those she once called neighbors. Once back inside her home, her heart bruised and trembling, Ada knew that life would never be the same again. But to understand her plight, we must rewind to the events that set this tragedy in motion. A few weeks earlier, Ada's husband, Obi, had fallen gravely ill with a mysterious ailment that left half his body paralyzed. Despite Ada's fervent efforts to find a cure, Obi succumbed to his illness, leaving behind his grieving wife and their young daughters. Devastated by her husband's death, Ada never imagined the trials that awaited her upon returning to his village. Instead of finding solace and support, Ada was met with suspicion and hostility. Obi's siblings, driven by greed and envy, accused her of murdering their brother to seize his wealth. Denied access to Obi's belongings and subjected to further mistreatment, Ada faced a harrowing ultimatum from her late husband's family: marry one of his brothers as a second wife or leave with nothing. Refusing to submit to their injustice, Ada chose to fight for herself and her children. But with each passing day, their plight grew dire. Cut off from their community, they faced starvation and isolation. It was only through the kindness of Ada's elderly parents that they found refuge and a glimmer of hope. Despite the hardships they endured, Ada and her daughters persevered, finding strength in each other and the unwavering support of their family. Through determination and resilience, they carved out a new life for themselves, free from the shackles of oppression. Years passed and Ada's daughters blossomed into independent young women, each forging her own path in the world. Chiamaka, the eldest, pursued a career in medicine, while Nkechi found success as an entrepreneur. Even Ngozi, the youngest, followed in her sister's footsteps, dedicating herself to healing others. As they flourished, Ada's heart swelled with pride, knowing that her daughters had overcome adversity to achieve their dreams. And when Chiamaka found love and happiness with a kind-hearted man, Ada rejoiced, her faith in the future restored. But just as Ada dared to believe that their troubles were behind them, a startling revelation shook their world once more. While tending to a patient at the village clinic, Ngozi encountered an elderly man afflicted with a mysterious illness. To her astonishment, the man turned out to be none other than Nnamdi, Ada's late husband's brother. In a moment of confession, Nnamdi revealed the truth that had been buried for years. He confessed to poisoning Obi out of envy for his success, framing Ada for a crime she never committed. Stunned by the revelation, Ada stood face to face with the perpetrators of her suffering, her heart heavy with a mix of anger and forgiveness. In the days that followed, Ada grappled with conflicting emotions, torn between the desire for justice and the need to let go of the past. But as she looked into the eyes of her daughters, their faces filled with compassion and understanding, Ada found the strength to forgive. With forgiveness came healing, and Ada and her daughters embraced their newfound freedom with gratitude and grace. No longer bound by the shadows of the past, they looked toward the future with hope and optimism, knowing that their bond as a family would carry them through whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, as the sun set on their village, Ada and her daughters stood together, united in their resilience and their unwavering belief in the power of love and forgiveness. For in the end, it was not the cruelty of others that defined them, but the strength of their spirits and the depth of their compassion that truly set them free.